I used to wonder why people keep sitting like this.
Hi, hi Sham. Welcome to our
Hello.
episode of Odyssey, Traversing Through Life. At the outset, I must thank you so much, for giving us time and agreeing to be on the program. Thank you so much, and it's such a pleasure to see you. These introductions probably I'll again have a bit while we speak, but you have been a great inspiration for a lot of people for a lot of years throughout school, college, and welcome to the show once again. So, before we go on to converse with each other, I'd like to play a small video that we have created. IWLF has done that. So, please let's have a look at the video.
Okay, thank you.
So, this is Shyam Banerjee, the versatile personality, the diverse work portfolio. He has done bit of everything and now centered doing which we will hear from him whatever good work he is doing. So Sham, let me just again come back to what I was saying. You've been a great inspiration, particularly for me in my life, because I think I have seen you in school when we were very small. I joined Bharati Vidya Bhavan in 76 and you passed out. Not that I had a lot of opportunity, but then you're being so active in every field, excelling in every field in school time, and then of course you've been my senior in college also. So it's a great pleasure for me talking to you today in this episode. Welcome once again. So my
Thank you.
first
Thank
this
you.
thing is my first uh, question would be not a question but a request would be, please describe yourself, how you look at yourself in this life, how your journey has been and how do you look at yourself.
I think the most difficult question that we have to answer is always this. I realized one thing that God has made a huge mistake in this whole system in which He runs this world, but He must be having a reason for it. He or she, I think God can be whatever God is, whoever it is. Um, Always felt that it takes about 60 odd years to get to know what life is about. And after that, when you start to get to know what life is about, you don't have much time to rework things. I have been an explorer. I have been like a drifter. I see myself as a cowboy, a homeless baul of the creative world. I gave up my job, a formal job, when I was 26. So since then, I have been able to work in very challenging fields which call for a lot of discipline. So and scheduling and budget management and playing with the money of others and saving it for them, despite being a
you know so
creative world. I'm pretty happy with it now. I wasn't happy with it earlier. I used to feel very confused because people In a program once, when I was being called to the stage, I was seriously introduced as a jack of all trades. It was about 15 years ago. I did feel very funny. The person didn't mean it in any wrong sense. The person just was at a loss of words to describe, because you are not expected to be an expert on classical music and at the same time writing songs like O Meri Munni Munni Muri Baby. So I think I defied a lot of expectations, my own, uh, others also, and that's how I think I'm still a drifter, and now I've mastered the art of drifting. That's what I would say.
Wow, I think, but the lyrics for that song,
You have to be a little louder, Sharmila.
you can't hear me. I think your lyrics
No,
for
I
some
can.
of, can you hear me
No,
now?
I'm growing old, so maybe my hearing is going. Yeah, yeah, it's my fault, my side of the problem.
No, no, can you hear me now?
See my hair,
No, you looking as
it's
handsome
more
as you
white now.
used
Yeah.
to be. No, 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 no. I don't believe you. You are still as handsome. I think one of my friend was just saying, looking at your photograph, that she's there. She's listening to you. Shalini was saying that very accomplished and handsome looking man. So you still are. So my this thing is that your lyrics have been, while you were writing them, I think in the 90s were super hit, and whatever you've done, you've excelled in that space. So now, since you have such a diverse portfolio that we see, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you have such a diverse portfolio from
Yeah,
from being an ad man, a creative person in an ad agency, to being a filmmaker, then a musician, then authoring so
yeah,
many books,
yeah.
writing spiritual poetries, uh, thorough knowledge of Sangeet. So, uh, we are
Kind of.
talking about adversities. That's a theme of our discussion today. So, uh, what were your
Yes.
adversities which turned into your strength?
My whole, mm, my whole bundle of, confusion was, personally speaking, my adversity. Even today, when let us say I'm going from my house to Connaught Place while driving, even now, after so many years, when I go from that route, I always look out for something new to see on the roadside. People sitting next to me get pretty flustered that you said the same thing, or you said something about this building or that road or that thing yesterday also. So Ruma is a witness to that, because generally she's there when we are going and working. And uh, so I was myself a bundle of contradictions. So that was my personal adversity. Later on, I realized that I have been, everyone is created by God in a very special manner. So in my house, I was doing everything, and I had my brother, whom you all know, Sudeep. I must tell you this before I forget, that I also used to sing pretty well, and Sudeep always sang better, for the simple reason. I'll tell you why. The difference between Sudeep and Sham, and why Sudeep is Sudeep today, and I am what I am. When I used to sing, I used to open all the doors, all the windows, all the pardas and everything and sing. And when Sudeep used to sing, he used to close all the doors, all the pardas and everything. So he was singing to himself. So this was one basic difference, which is there in our approaches now also. So he went on to really focus in chisel. I uh, feel that adversity is in the mind. See, when we talk of adversity, you have to first accept. Well, let's see what Vedant would say about it. You have to first accept one thing, that when we are talking of adversity, A, there is an adversary. So I am seeing an adversary in front of me. So I think that there is adversity. Now you analyze this further, Sharmila, and all my friends who are listening. What can this adversity be? Let's think logically. This adversity can be an object. This adversity can be a situation. This adversity can be a thought. This adversity can be a living being, right? If I am walking in a gully in Banaras, let us say, and it is very common if you're into Banaras, you might find a bull blocking your road. You will say that it is an adverse situation. Now, you might be on a kind of path where an adverse situation like this is blocking your path. In all probability, what you see as being adverse is what you are perceiving as an adversity. Now, when you see the bull on that road, you can have many options of how to handle it. If I go and meet a bull head on, and then I get rogered and battered, and then I say that it was so, I am going through adversity. I think all adversity exists. Now I can say that inside us, there is nothing adverse until, of course, you are unlucky to have been born with some kind of a physical challenge. And there are people we have seen who have been born with great physical challenges and who have achieved greater than many of us, at least 100 times more than me. I have everything intact. So adversity is, finally, I know it's a state of mind. So the adversary is a projection of the mind. I make that mind as powerful. I make that adversary as powerful as I want it to be. If, let us say, just taking it forward, that a child is born. This child, let us again go to Banaras, let us stick to our destination. And this child is growing up. This child has never seen anything other than what, let us say, 5 years old or 4 years old now, and he's never heard of anything other than what is there in the gullies of Banaras. He might have heard about the, I'm sorry, the first thing that comes to my mind is Rabdi of Banaras. So, or he might have heard about everything else. And a tiger comes in front of this child. The tiger will not consider this child as an adversary because the tiger has no knowledge about this, that it's a tiger. For all you know, that child just might think that this is a huge cat and I'm supposed to play with it. So adversities become your strength immediately. And there's a beautiful quotation that I remember, and it has been my watchword. It is Swami Chinmayanand's advice and thought. It could be someone else's also, because he used to collect and he used to read so much, that he used to define creativity in a very beautiful way. His definition of creativity is actually, he left us in 1993, creativity is the art of turning adversity into opportunity. That is why any work can be creative, any life can be creative, because you can turn your adversity into opportunity. Are we not seeing it in these corona times? There are two kinds of people. One is the milieu that is ranting about the problems that they have, and the other is those, even industries, companies, who are remodeling themselves and turning this adversity into an opportunity. People are remodeling themselves. I think these remodelings are for the good and they're going to stay for the future. So what we are today calling as adversity, let us say the corona crisis, when history looks back upon it after 25, 30, 40, 50, 100 years, it might say that it was the turning point and the point that shaped the world.
Okay, this is again, so beautifully explained. But you also said what were, I mean, the adversities, how it turned into your opportunities and advantage and strength. So going forward, Sham, I'll just read out, everybody's interacting. So, I would just
Yeah,
like
please do.
include them. So Pilu is saying, just a second, Pilu is saying, hi everyone. And Shuvendu is saying that Shudeep has sent his love to everybody. Shuvendu is
Yeah.
saying, Shuvendu Ghoshal, he is saying that all drifters make a difference. You can't be in a format. Uh, so
All
I
drifters.
all drifters make a
Yes.
difference. So you can't be in a format, you can't be defined in a format. So Shalini is also saying, Akdom, drifters are also very attractive personalities. Actually, Shalini gave you the compliment I shared with you earlier.
Oh, thank
uh,
you.
Here the look is a bonus. So she's saying your look is a bonus, and drifters are can be very attractive personalities. So are you. So anyway, Manish is saying
I'm honored. Thank you.
Sudeep Bhai had Sham as a support to become Shudeep. Very well said, Manish. I think Shudeep will agree to this. And Shudeep has been such a loving brother. The moment I said that I'm having this conversation with Sham, he just promoted it everywhere. Thank you, Shudeep. You're listening to us. Uh, so these are some of the comments which have come to us right now. And coming back to what we were speaking,
Yeah.
so what I gathered was that the philosophy of adversity that you just spoke, resonates with what Chinmayan's mission uh, talks in terms of what has been spoken in Vedantas, and particularly Advaita, that this is the conscious, the Atman, the Brahman, as you have told me to pronounce it, uh, and the rest of it is an illusion, which is Maya. So
What?
how did you
Your voice is breaking a bit.
rest of I'm saying Atman, Brahman, and
Yeah, yeah.
Maya, illusion. So this is what Advaita talks about, and your journey into the Vedant world started sometime in 2000. So what inspired you to take that path and tread on it so meticulously? So can you tell us?
It is again something that must have been written somewhere here, and I am not one of those who believe that don't think because I'm showing the hand that destiny is everything. In life, there are two parts of life, which is very, very clear, and there is let there be no doubt about that. I don't have that doubt. We don't have it. There are two things in life, in any situation for anything, and that is that about which you can do something, and that about which is out of your hands, it's out of your control. It is the play of these two that makes you what you are. I think it was destined. I remember seeing Swami Chinmayanand in 1971 in our school grounds. That is where he used to come and speak, because that time there was no Chinmaya mission in Delhi. And I used to wonder, who is this old man who comes over and takes over our sports grounds in the morning, and it's a big nuisance for us. So that was my first perception of Swami Chinmayanand. Later on, a lot about Swami Chinmayanand actually was told to me on the side by one of our teachers, my dear Mr. Negi. Mr. Negi in school, somehow he must have realized it. So I stay grateful to him. Uh, he talked of Vivekanand to me, and he talked of Chinmayanand. So then I forgot about it. And after that, see how the wheel turns a full circle. Uh, there was a song which had to be sung about Swami Chinmayanand. It was in 2000, and by that time, so Dr. Ellen Singhvi, the great jurist, and who was the Indian High Commissioner in UK, he had written this song. He considered Swami Chinmayanand the friend. So this song was written as a tribute to him, and they needed someone to sing it and someone to do the music. This was in 2000, 2001, 2000, and that's how I and Ruma got into the Chinmaya path, you can say. And I remember this song today more especially because Pandit Jasraj, who has just left us, he had sung this song.
So
He
why
had
don't
sung
you
it in
sing
his.
it? Manish is
I,
also requesting that sing this song for us. Let's also hear this song.
it's a very long song. I don't think I'll just think of those lines. It is it says Dig Digant mein goonj rahi hai. It's a beautiful poem he wrote. He was a great writer, Dr. Singhvi. And दिग दिगंत में गूंज रही है यश गाथा की प्रतिध्वनि सस्वर आज मुखर यह स्वर्णिम अवसर यह शाश्वत भारत का वंदन मृण्मय को चिन्मय कर देता चिन्मय दर्शन चिन्मय चिंतन चिर कृतज्ञ हैं नतमस्तक हैं श्रद्धा से करते अभिनंदन. The whole 6-minute song was Hindi like this, and we composed it. And the song went on to become like an anthem for the Chinmay world. Shobna Narayan ji very gracefully danced to it in the video, and we made a beautiful video, and it's there somewhere on the YouTube. And that's how I got into it. I never liked organized spiritual institutions. I still don't like most of them, but I've learned to like one thing now, that one should not have dislikes. So because really the only knowledge that you have gained at the end of this whole journey is that you really are not as intelligent. I'm talking of myself, no one else. I'm talking you, me, as I thought I was. And the moment this came, and this is the Chinmay learning which I got, my guru, who was, and he's I stepped down now, was, I think my life has been molded a lot by I and Ruma both and our families, by Swami Tejomayanand, who was the head of Chinmaya mission from 1993 onwards and till recently, till 2016. And Swami Tejomayanand, I think, has been the biggest influence in my life. Hardly sat and listened to him, just being in his presence. So one realized the value of satsang. Satsang means being in the sangat, in the company of goodness of all kinds. It doesn't really mean being chanting or doing bhajans and all. You can do that. No one is stopping you from doing that. That really changed. And the Chinmaya means what? Advaita. So the indivisibility. It is Advaita Vedant which you brought up. It is what Swami Vivekananda says. And it is, we call it the indivisible truth, that I am not separate from Bhagavan. That force that we call Brahman is actually in me. I am a reflection of that force, which is Brahman. I am also Brahman. So the moment you realize this, become conscious of this, then you start seeing Brahman in everything, the cat and the dog. I am now a much better dog lover because I see that dog being God also. So my dislike for dogs is gone, dislike for cats is gone. So now I think I get less angry with myself also. It's taken time. It is still taking time. And I think love and this whole realization that I am no different from that power, and that power, that thought humbles me. You know, there's a beautiful Zen. We call it Zen. Zen is very famous. So actually, the word Zen has gone from India to China. Zen actually means dhyana. which is a very common word, dhyana. Dhyana went on to become Zen. When it came back to us as Zen, we lapped it up. Like we lap up many scriptures that come back to us. Like we lap up many great singers and artists after who have become a hit in Canada, and when they come and sing in India, we say, why was he a great artist? And all this time, the guy would have struggled in this country and not got. So we have this hang up. So Zen, there's a beautiful Zen quotation which says, man stands under his own shadow and keeps complaining, oh, how dark is it? Actually, human being is standing under his or her own shadow. It's huge. It's huge. This is called the experience of the self. Uh, it happens in a moment. It happens in a moment. Therefore, I always tell people, and that I was telling you also, I think sometime, that meditation is not a verb, and we treat it as a verb. We get into the act of meditation, and we come out of the act of meditation. ध्यान लगाया, ध्यान लगा के वापस आ गए, वापस उसी जंगल में जाना है, इसलिए ध्यान लगाकर अपनी शक्तियों को थोड़ा ठंडा कर दिया, बढ़ा लिया, शांत कर लिया मन को. अरे meditation, by in a dictionary also, Swami Chinmayananda used to say, why go by a simple dictionary thing? Meditation is a noun. If it is not a verb and if it's a noun, it changes the whole thing. If meditation is a noun, then it means what? It's a state of being. It's a condition. A juari, a gambler, who is engrossed in his game, and the house is burning at that time, but that person doesn't realize that my house is burning because he's engrossed in a game, is in a higher state of meditation than most people who are practicing meditation are. So meditation is a state of being. You have to be constantly in that state, whether you are working in the office, whether you are climbing stairs, whether you are jumping around, whether you are cooking. If you think, no, that I am meditating, it is not happening. And that's what people do. So this inseparability, this indivisibility of your being, this is just a matter of realization. It is not a matter of practice. The only practice that you can do is work on habits. Habits are character forming. Habits are nature forming. Let's keep working on our habits. There can be any habits. They could be smoking, they could be drinking, they could be, and believe me, they are not bad habits. It's how bad or good you make it to be. It may sound very stupid that I'm saying that these are not bad habits, but why? I mean, we have branded them as bad. And so in our paradigm, when we see these words, we brand them as good, bad, ugly. I think the worst chapter in grammar which was taught to us was about this good, better, best. Many things which were taught to us in school, I would like to teach in a different way today. I'll tell you a simple example, if I may continue talking for 2 minutes more. We have been taught in school that in Mahabharata there is this wonderful, great story of Arjuna trying, and Arjuna is in this ashram, and all the other princes are there. You know the famous story. चिड़िया की आंख को मारना है, कौन मार सकता है? Everyone is trying. Duryodhan, Bhim, सबका, and everyone failed. And fail क्या? Duryodhan keeps asking them, क्या दिख रहा है? कोई कहता है मुझे पेड़ दिख रहा है, मुझे आसमान दिख रहा है, मुझे ये चिड़िया दिख रही है, मुझे उसके पंख दिख रहे हैं. कोई कहता है मुझे वो सिर्फ पेड़ दिख रहा है, वो डाल दिख रही है. कोई कहता है कि मेरे को वो सिर्फ वो चिड़िया ही दिख रही है. Mr. Arjun comes and says that I can only see the eye of the bird. I was always taught, and this story never fitted my life, and it doesn't fit into the lives of many people. No story in this world can have a straight-jacketed conclusion. That is dictatorial. No statement in this world can be close-ended. They all have 100 possibilities. Coming back to this story, I grew up being told by great teachers that this is a story about focus. But when I got down to work, and here I was writing, singing, designing, anchoring. By the way, I was a sports admission in Hindu college. Since I did not get good marks in history, I was in the Delhi school team. I was one of the very few people who got in from our school into the Delhi school team that those days. So I have run the nationals. And when I used to practice for my under 19s, I used to see stalwarts like Shriram Singh practicing for their 400-meter heats and their finals. I did not take athletics seriously because I never wanted to. I just wanted to get into Hindu college. They'll kill me if they hear this. But I had to run in Hindu college for 1 year. So I was a bundle of confusion कि ये फोकस वाली कहानी अगर सही है, फिर मैं तो बहुत बड़ा एक बेवकूफ हूँ. But I am a misfit. I'm a misfit in this world. Later I realized that this is not a story about focus. I realized that what this story is teaching was here was a young boy called Arjun who was so smart that he had ignored seeing the tree. He had ignored seeing the branch. He had ignored seeing the bird. And when you start ignoring, when you learn to cut away, cut away, cut away, cut away, what remains is called focus. Focus is not built, I realized, by focusing on focus. Focus is a result of what happens when you do something else. So today, and this realization made me so happy. As Shyam Banerjee, you have quite a few talents. That's all, and that is your curse. So, do you want to give it up or don't give it up? Now, Advait has taught me the indivisibility of who I am and the many colors that I have, and I'm following all of them. And for 20 years, we have been working on so many things, and in all this, of course, I wouldn't have been able to achieve a lot in life. I did quizzes for Doordarshan, 500 or 600 classical music programs. I think so Remo must have had doubts when he gave me the song "O Meri Munni" to transcreate rather, because the English lines actually read his lines: "You shorten up your school skirt, you puff out your blouse, a very, very naughty girl dying to arouse. Hungry eyes, burning skin, very, very keen. Your mama's very worried, you're only 13. This was 1998 when we did this song. And after having tried many singers, he came, and that "O Meri Munni" became a super hit, which we did create. So I said, Remo, this won't work. This hungry eyes, burning skin doesn't work in Hindi. He said, you do what you want to change it. So I'm enjoying it now. I'm enjoying my Advaitness, my indivisibility, yes. And thanks to my guru, who has given total freedom, and thanks to Ruma, without whom I wouldn't have been able to achieve all this. Because sometimes there are times that you need to believe in someone else, others. I really believe in my guru. I surrendered. I and Ruma surrendered at his feet. So that is very difficult. The moment you can do that, you see, it is very difficult to be a worshipper. We have two kinds of faith in Hindu Dharma. One is we call Nirguna, in which God is not defined in form. So you have Kabir and all writing about it. Then you have the Saguna faith, which is Bhagavan as Krishna, and right down to Santoshi Mata, or even a tree or whatever. A tree is still fine. You can worship a tree. So it is very fashionable and it's very trendy in younger days to believe in this Nirgun thing. That it is more difficult to believe in something which is intangible, this intangible truth. And you say, I cannot believe in this idol called Krishna. I cannot believe in this stone which is there, in Saudi Arabia somewhere around which people are just little take rounds. I cannot believe in this idol of Rama. I cannot believe in this. You know why? More and more, one thinks, I thought that the reason is that the human being has an ego. And when I see something in my form, just like me, मेरे जैसा ही तो है. It is extremely difficult. So when I see a guru, it's another human being who everyone is saying has got a lot of knowledge. When I see a teacher, so the questioning mind starts doubting. That's because the ego comes in place. Today, I find it so enchanting to believe in Krishna. I find it so wondrous to believe in this idol of Ram
So,
or any other god.
so Shah,
Whether it is,
my next question probably will lead to
yes,
that, but we wanted to hear a few lines, rendition of the song that you just said, Chinmayananda's. He would come to our school. Can we hear? And then I have messages pouring in, so I'd like to read that out for you once you
yeah,
hear.
my Chinmaya song you want to hear?
Yeah, a few lines, please. I think we all thought Manish specially requested.
Your water. Manish, I have not sung that song for ages. Maybe I'll sing it later. Okay, I'll sing it just like that. I'll go to the paragraph now because it's on a different scale, my setting
Yeah.
of the harmonium. So it'll be a big jump. So Sudeep will say that I'm learning music now by talking about these things. I've taught him a lot anyway. So no, I'm joking. I've learned a lot from him. Sudeep has also been a very a defining influence because it was very clear when he first heard the first song that we brought home was Patta Patta Boota Boota. I'm sorry, I'm digressing. And Jagjit Ji's Baat Niklegi and that album. So he was 9 years old when he heard that. So when I saw that as a 9-year-old, he's younger to me. He has fallen in love with Patta Patta Boota Boota, that there is no other future for him except this. So it has been a hand holding from there till 1995 when he cut his first album. So in that process of being with Sudeep, I also learned a lot and it shaped me. So he's another influence on my life. Uh, I'll go to the paragraph which goes and talks about his life. केरल के मधुवन कानन से हिमगिरी के उत्तुंग शिखर से लेकर नई चेतना स्वामी चिन्मय अलख जगाने आए. स्वामी शिवानंद की दीक्षा, स्वामी तपोवनम का संबल, दिव्य शक्ति से प्रेरित चिन्मय जग में अलख जगाने आए. वेद और वेदांत पुरातन भारत की अनमोल धरोहर, यही धरोहर चिन्मय वाणी की अद्भुत श्रृंगार बन गई. धर्म क्षेत्र में कुरुक्षेत्र में जो उद्बोधन दिया कृष्ण ने, श्री चिन्मय की वीणा पर वह सारस्वत झनकार बन गई. दिग दिगंत में गूंज रही है यश गाथा की प्रतिध्वनि सट पर. आगे गाऊंगा तो बहुत इमोशनल हो जाऊंगा. तो ये
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. I'll just
that was for
read
Manish.
that we
Manish,
have.
so yeah.
Yeah, so I'll just read out the messages that we have been having. Archana Sethi Rehani. Hi Sham.
Thank you, Archana.
Live.
Oh, she's my classmate.
Okay, okay. Hi Archana, welcome. Mridula is my friend and from IWLF. She's saying beautifully said Sham about turning adversities into opportunities. Nandita is saying nice to see and hear you both. Thank you, Nandita. Archana is saying
Thank
hi
you.
Shamila. Thanks, Archana. Yes, I love Buddha's, calm. So I have him in my house, and thank you so much. Raja, I'm so happy you are here. Rajamani Krishnamurthy is my uh, colleague from JSW. He's saying a hi to
Okay.
everybody. Uh,
Hello, Raja.
Archana again is saying, well, Sham is not only handsome but a bachelor too. Sham, are you?
Yeah.
You're still
Archana,
eligible.
you should.
Wise
I think now
and Nutcut. Wise and Nutcut. Deadly
you should
combo.
you should mute Archana now.
Okay. Nandita is saying, I remember Swami Chinmayanand's session in our school. He held my
Right.
attention even as a young student.
He
Neeru
came and spoke in the
Joshi is
assembly.
here. Neeru Johuri. Uh, she's
Yeah,
saying,
Niru.
whatever you said, very beautiful. Nandita is again saying, no, Nandita, he's already sung. Riya Khoshal is my sister-in-law. Thank you, Riya, for joining us. She's here and she's also really liking it. Archana is saying, what a beautiful thing to have said, not to have dislikes. Ma'am, Usharam ma'am is here. Ma'am, I don't know whether you remember me. Of course, everybody remembers Sham, but welcome to this episode. You've come here to watch us.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you so much. And
Thank you for joining in.
yeah, and
Usha Ramji
Usha,
has been क्या बताएं, very inspiring throughout life.
yes,
And I have no regret that our class was the first class which she attended in our school, next to the principal's office and between the canteen. We really troubled her. No sorry for that.
so Usha ma'am taught us English, and I have been also her
Right.
student from class
You know
6.
what she
Usha,
taught us? She taught us civics when she came.
physics.
That was civics.
Ooh,
Civics.
civics.
CI. That's right.
Okay. So Usha ma'am is saying adversity comes without knocking Sham. So, you know,
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Archana is saying, Archana is wish. I mean, of course, she's just, she's wishing Usha ma'am uh, translation of Meri Munni. Archana is asking you to translate Meri Munni's Sham.
No. Both I and Remo have moved away from those songs, Archana. Now we think very different. I did a song with Remo about 2 months ago on the coronavirus, which I'm not going to sing, so I'm not going to sing that. And we did there's a nice song I sang I wrote for Remo, and that maybe I can sing some lines here.
Yeah, please. Please.
And
And
how
I
much
think
time do we
a
have?
few more are Nikki is saying awesome.
Nikki,
Archana
yeah,
is
hi.
actually a fan. I can see that Archana. Wow, he is a beautiful singer. Yes, we'll hear more of that, more of his songs. Nandita is saying beautiful. Pilu is saying with what compliments. Yeah, Pilu, look, this is now. I mean, imagine school and college. He was always, I mean, absolutely. People were. He was a dream boy
Arre,
for a lot of people.
we are
So
we are we are fans of Pilu and Ashish here, and
yeah.
we keep watching them.
So Nandita is saying, Usharam ma'am, come to us first as a trainee teacher. Okay,
Right.
so yeah, so while I joined school, she was teaching us. Uh, okay, so this is some of the comments. I think Shuvendu also said something. I can't see on the screen. Shuvendu said, uh, I'll just read
Yes,
it out
Manish. Yeah.
later. Uh, भाई बाजे के साथ गाइए बाजे के
बाजे के साथ.
Manish is saying Manish बाजे के साथ गाएंगे we will come to the music this thing discussion we called him musician I mean so we have to hear him out so we'll come to that so Sham I'll come back to our discussion
Yeah. Please do.
what you just described was so beautiful so encompassing and so much complete in its own way so you also said that uh, you would visit Vrindavan a lot of times for work, and while your work took you there, there was a complete understanding of Krishna consciousness, which you just said right now, and that has actually evolved you and made you what you stand for today. So you can tell us a bit
It has
about that.
helped a lot. It has been a foundational thing again. See, I never liked advertising. So the day I entered the office, I knew I have to get out of this place because it is all it's all very empty. And I want to write. I want to be a writer. I want to think. I want to be a thinker. I want to do music. I want to be a musician. I want to produce music. So my whole thing about joining advertising was I had been told that all these things are done in ad agencies and you get money also for doing that. After some time, I realized, no, no, this is not what I. After having worked with Amin Sayani Sahab in those days, it was, you know, uh, one has had an opportunity of working with him and other such people, and they were great people. I realized I don't want to be here, not in Mumbai. I'm sorry, Mumbai walas also. And nine, I gave up. 1990, I joined INTAC, the International Trust for Art and Cultural Heritage, and I was I joined as a film coordinator and working on a great film project, so great that it was destined not to happen. So it was Manikal ji was doing a film on Ganga, Sham Benegal ji was doing a film on Godavari, Jahanu Barua ji was doing a film on Brahmaputra, and there was another film which was a dream project of the great filmmaker Kumar Shahani ji, that was Amrita Shergill, done being planned along with his nephew Vivan Sundaram. So these were the people I had a chance to interact with them. The films, a part of it happened. I used to write synopsises for them. Then I was given a task, and the whole new concept of heritage tourism came in the country. And UNESCO formed its heritage tourism charter, and no one in India knew what it is. And Intac was asked to develop it. The area chosen to tell people in India what heritage tourism as a subject is and how tourism of heritage can help protect the heritage of a place, Brajabhumi was chosen as a place. Brajabhumi is a 300-kilometer area which runs in four states actually. It's UP, definitely, Haryana, Rajasthan, three states I think. And I was given the task of going and researching this whole area. So 1 year I spent in Brajbhumi, uh, visiting lots of places, visiting almost every village there. So even like a village, like there's a village called which is villages only for Ras, and you have to really walk there. Cars also can't reach. अब पता नहीं है क्या है. So my first trip to Vrindavan was a shocker. I saw the dirtiest city, and I thought that how can this place be divine? Again, this whole perception that I am intelligent, that I know better, that my ideas are the ones which are right. So when I was saying that how can this place be divine, actually I now realize that I was ridiculing and making a mockery of the millions who go and see Krishna there. So those people who are able to see Krishna there are so much more superior to me, or were always superior to me, and I could not see Krishna there because I was seeing the filth and the dirt and the temple politics and the temple competitions, and one temple taking over from another over a period of decades. So now you have got new temples which are what is the temple near Madan Mohan ke paas, which is the most. Bake Bihari is now the toast of Braj. At one time it wasn't. Ranji is very famous. At one time it wasn't, and the older temples have fallen into disuse, the great temples. So there's only one temple, they say, in Braj, which has got an original Krishna idol of the 16th century, and that is supposed to be the Radha Raman temple. The other four temples, all the idols have been taken away. Haridev ji has gone to Nathwada. Your Dwarkadhish ji from Mathura has gone to Jaipur, so you can go and see it with all the other royal houses. Anyway, a stage came after that when, in writing about Braj, I wrote a book on it, and the book was cursed. So it never came out. It came out as a huge story in India magazine. It was a very famous magazine those days. So I could see Krishna. I could see him peeping from the windows of normal houses. So I was imagining, just like we imagine an adversary. So I was also projecting him. from my mind. I'm sure he wasn't there, but I had begun seeing him and falling in love with him, not really understanding him. Afterwards, about 10, 15 years later, I began to understand him. I've started to understand now a little bit more, understand the Gita more. And it is very easy to ridicule and talk and criticize all these characters. So yes, my Krishna Bhakti uh, gave place to Ram Bhakti later. So it was again, it was a very interesting thing, you know. Krishna was always easy to worship. Ram was always difficult because you always had these questions in our mind. कि सीता के साथ ऐसा किया, सीता के you make him make Sita walk through the fire, then you tell Sita to leave the house. All these things keep rattling the young minds, and these questions keep coming up. The whole problem with us is that regardless of which religion you belong to, we do not read our scriptures. Amongst all the religions, I honestly believe that practicing Hindus have very little to do with reading of scriptures because that system doesn't exist. So if you have not read the Ramayana, if you have not read the Ramcharitmanas, if you have not read, and you can't believe me, you can't read it yourself because it is so. You just if you read it, you won't understand. You need someone to take you by the hand, and that is where the mentor, the guru comes in, and you understand these so-called Bhagavans. So first of all, you have to understand. It is an irony, and it's so funny. We call them Bhagwan, but when we want to run them down in our dharma, we run them down as if we are running a human being down. So first and foremost, decide once and for all, do you believe that these people were historical characters, or do you believe that these people were gods? So if you believe in God, then why are you dissecting this person as a human being? If you believe that these people were human beings, then why are you worshipping them like the way most people do? So there's an identity crisis. I have discovered my Krishna. He is a little blue boy of Vrindavan. I love going to Vrindavan. It's been a long time since I've been there. Thanks for reminding me. And all the places, not just Vrindavan, Barsana, Gokul. There's a village called Baldev, which belongs to his brother Balaram. Then you've got Govardhana. Radha Kund is a beautiful place on the other side of the river. You can spend hours there. There are two beautiful lakes there. This is Kusum Sarovar. It's a fantastic place. People don't go to these places. If you go to Barsana, climb up that hill, and you will really start believing that that is where the Matki Thodi used to happen in Krishna's time, so-called. Maybe it's a myth. But you see, we all live our myths. You go to, you heard 100 stories about Govardhan mountain. Where is it? Where is Govardhan in Braj? You go to Govardhan, you'll find a flat piece of land. But look at the Astha. There are people who are able to see the mountain there with the mind's eye. Isn't that not the highest of creativity? See, creativity is what? Creativity is how a creative person is different. A creative person, you give him a composed product or a composed thing. The creative mind instantly sees something else inside it. That if I break it up, it will become something like this. I can turn this car into a beautiful bar for my whiskey and my scotch. Yes, why not? So that is creative. And the other thing also happens. A creative person, when he sees a lot of things scattered about, a creative person sees one object in it. My goodness, I can see a beautiful chair lying there in pieces. It might, for all you know, might be tires and tubes. So to see God to be able to perceive that there is a, I can see Krishna there. We believe in seeing ghosts, but when we stand in front of an idol, our intellect and our, reasoning and all that starts working. एक इंसान ही तो है सामने मेरे, इसलिए निर्गुण की पूजा इतनी अच्छी है. अरे, it's only when you kill that ego, you are able to see that yes, I am with you, I am one, you are an ideal. So that is what I will learn from my Krishna consciousness.
So you are, your reading spaces, what you're speaking right now is mesmerizing. I think I have a lot of comments. Anubha saying that I went with you to Radharaman temple and it was beautiful. She traveled with you to Radharaman temple.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, Dua, yes.
Yeah, and Shuvendu, I was saying, Shuvendu said something very good which I would like to read out. Shuvendu is saying focus and analogy is very powerful. Theory of elimination to reach the state of Shunya. I think that's what you said also. Did you hear?
Yeah, that is a very Buddhist concept, I would say. I had a huge discussion, debate on this. I had used this word in a poem once, Shunya. So Shunyavad is, what the Shunya, maybe he doesn't mean it like that, Shubhendu, but we believe in the concept, I believe in Advaita. It's the concept of Purna. So if everything is complete, there is no Shunya. So maybe we can talk about that sometime later. That was a huge debate. So everything is Punya, it's Purna. That's why when you say focus being a derivative of this elimination process and you come to Shunya, actually you don't, I say that you don't come to Shunya, you come to the completeness. You come to the Purna, because what is the last line? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate. From the complete, there's completeness this side, there's completeness that side. This is Ish Upanishad, we recite it every day. स्कूल में प्रेयर था, अगर किसी को याद हो, हम तब बातें करते थे असेंबली में, और ये प्रेयर के अंदर था, पूर्णात् पूर्णम उदच्यते. From completeness, completeness is being born. What a fantastic thing they have said. Purnat Purnam Udachyate, Purnasya, from the complete, Purnam Adaya, when I take away the complete, Purnam Eva Vashishyate. Eva Vashishyate. Eva Vashishyate. When I take away the complete, from the complete, what remains is complete too. So, in Advaita, the concept of Shunya is not accepted. It is complete, Purna. I am complete, you're complete. That I, which Arjuna was seeing, was complete.
So Shyam, I think I'm interrupting you because we want to hear you sing. I mean, that's my main this thing, and we
Okay.
I have just sought a little time for you, so therefore we'll come to the music part of it before we go to Swanubhuti Vatika. The next would be that discussion. So music is something which I understood from you, and I understand. I mean, I've heard you singing. You're a wonderful singer. You have such a thorough knowledge of Rabindra Sangeet, and we were talking about Rabindranath Tagore. You said that he is a spiritualist. So can we speak? Can we hear a bit about music and then hear you singing?
Yeah.
I think everybody.
Sure. I think I'm more of a writer, but yeah, I can think in terms of music. I have a sense of music. I'm not. The one very big defining thing in my life is that I have never learned any of these what I'm doing. So I studied history and became a writer. I'm glad I did. So no journalism, no such classes. Music. So Sudeep सुन के सीख लिया, because in Sudeep's classes used to, of course, resound in my ears when those lessons used to come from Pandit Ajay Chakravarti. Those tapes are still there. And Sudeep used to get up in the morning at 5:30 or 5 o'clock and sing. I would refuse to do it. So there's no question of my having time to become a singer. Or Anubha and all practicing their sitar. They're still lying here. So the sitar, I think we have a sitar at home here. And we also have a tanpura in our house, which a young budding singer called Sudeep Banerjee went to buy from a house in Jodhpur, and along with the tanpura, he found this girl called Anubha. Anubha was selling the tanpura, and he went to buy the tanpura. Glad he did. And not only the wife, along with the wife, he also got the wife tablawala Nawab Ali ji, who then started playing with Sudeep. I'm singing a Tagore song, a few lines in Bangla. I'm working on doing Tagore in Hindi for, I don't like the word masses. I love the masses. They are so intelligent. So, I have, Ruma is holding a lamp here. Ruma is like, I call her Shatrughna. There were four brothers, four characters, these men in Ramayana. No one talks of Shatrughna. Shatrughan's name is beautiful. You know why? Shatru means enemy. Ghana means great, deep, rooted. Bhagwan Ram went to the jungles. Lakshman had the great honor of accompanying him, so he could say that I suffered all that he had suffered. Bharat was left behind to look after the kingdom. And Bharat could say that, see, I took care of the kingdom for my brother Ram and for Lakshmanji to return. And I did not sit on the throne. I put his sandals, if I may use the English word. I'm sure Bhagwan Ram won't mind to welcome him and receive him. Shatrughna, no one talks about him. The greatest hero of the Ramayana. Lakshman was serving Bhagwan himself. Bharatji was serving Bhagwan and two Bhagwans, because Lakshman is supposed to be, also a divine incarnation. Shatrughanji decided to serve the servant of God himself. So the second, third. You know why he's called Shatrughan? Because the greatest enemy, the deep-rooted enemy that we have is the ego. So the person who conquers the ego is called Shatrughna. Amongst all the four brothers, he was the greatest in doing this. So Ruma is Shatrughan. She's happy to hold this light here and stay there. I have great regard for her. Jabo, jabo. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Raat bole che jai, Sagur bole, kul mile che ami to Megh bole che jabo, jabo. I'll sing it in Hindi so that everyone understands. Megh bole che, you are talking of adversity. मेघ बोले मुझे जाना है जाना, रात कहे मैं जाऊं, सागर बोले मिला किनारा, मैं तो मैं रहा ना. I'm fiddling with the tune here. मेघ बोले मुझे जाना है जाना, रात कहे मुझे जाना, सागर बोले मिला किनारा, मैं तो मैं रहा ना. सागर बोल रहा है, when we see this line, the ocean when it is meeting the shore, is it the ocean or the shore? दुख बोले रहूंगा छुप के. Sorrow is saying, I'm going to stay hidden. I'm going to stay here. Sorrow never goes. दुख बोले रहूंगा छुप के, उसके पाँव की छाप बन के. Tagore calls sorrow adversity. Tagore calls sorrow the imprint of the presence of Bhagavan in your life.
So beautiful.
दुख बोले रहूंगा छुप के, उसके पाँव की छाप बन के. मैं मेरा कहे मिल रहा मैं मेरा कहे मिल रहा मैं तो कुछ चाहूं ना. मेघ बोले मुझे जाना है जाना. भुवन बोले बैठा हूँ देखो वर्णमाला सजाए. The world seeks the world of objects. Bhuvan, this Maya which you're talking of some time back, Sharmila, it keeps enticing you. It will keep telling you, I'm waiting for you with a welcoming garland in my hand. Come through your eyes. Come to your nose, the beautiful smell of chaat, pakodi, alcohol. Keep enticing you. Touch. इसको छूं, उसको छूं, कितना अच्छा लगता है ना. भुवन बोले बैठा हूँ देखो वरनमाला सजाए. गगन बोले बैठा हूँ देखो लाखों दीप जलाए. The sky will lie to you. The sky will tell you all these stars that you see, I have lit them for you. You know? Why Tagore? I call him the last of the Sufis, the great Vedantist. भुवन बोले बैठा हूँ देखो वर्णमाला सजाए. गगन बोले बैठा हूँ देखो लाखों दीप जलाए. प्रेम कहे मैं तेरी आस में. प्रेम कहे के तेरी आस में बैठा हूँ देखो कब से जाग में. प्रेम इसे अरे भाई तुम्हारी ही आस में तो मैं कब से I am waiting only for you, no one else, and you start feeling all important in this world. And not my words, I'm singing to you about the glory of Tagore, not as a Bengali. भुवन बोले बैठा हूँ देखो वर्णमाला सजाए. गगन बोले बैठा हूँ देखो लाखों दीप जलाए. प्रेम कहे के तेरी आस में बैठा हूँ देखो कब से जाग में. फिर आवाज आती है मरण बोले मुझे तो तेरा जीवन नैया चलाना। मरण फिर बोलता है धीरे से, मेघ चला जाएगा, रात चली जाएगी, सागर कंफ्यूज रहेगा कि वो सागर है या किनारा। मैं ये सोचता रहेगा तुम्हारा कि तुम्हारे मैं से तुम्हारा मैं मिला कि नहीं। प्रेम तुम्हें लुभाता रहेगा, गगन तुम्हें लुभाता रहेगा, बुलाता रहेगा। दिस वर्ल्ड ऑफ ऑब्जेक्ट्स विल कीप एंटाइसिंग यू। दो लोग हम कभी तुम्हारा साथ नहीं छोड़ेंगे। कौन से दो लोग? दुख बोले रहूंगा छुप के, उसके पांव की छाप बन के। दुख, जब तक दुख है सोच लो कि भगवान है तुम्हारे पास। सोच लो कि भगवान है। मरण बोले मुझे तो तेरा जीवन नैया चलाना। मेघ बोले मुझे जाना है जाना। Tagore, you wanted that? I can keep going on, but I think the time, you're running out of time.
I think
Thank you, Pilu.
I don't have words. I mean, the meaning is so deep that, you know, my son is saying that you should not cry on camera when you are on camera. But Shyam, thank you. I think this was so much in it, and I'm really, I felt the song.
Don't.
And I've heard you earlier also singing Rabindra Shangeet. Pilu is also crying. I am also, I think.
Okay, then for all of you, one song.
Okay, sure.
For all those who want to stay, I'm moving on to Hindi. Okay, and बेचैन है हवाएं। So, this is a great poem called आग की भीख। जिंदगी जीना है तो भीख मांगो, अगर तो आग की भीख मांगो। बेचैन है हवाएं, हर ओर बेकली है, कोई नहीं बताता कश्ती चली है। मझधार है खबर है या पास है किनारा, यह नाश आ रहा या सौभाग्य का सितारा। आकाश पे अनल से, अनल इज फायर, आकाश पे अनल से लिख दो अदृष्ट मेरा। अदृष्ट मेरे कर्मों का लेखा जोखा आकाश पर लिख दो, आग से मैं देखना चाहता हूं। आकाश पे अनल से लिख दो अदृष्ट मेरा। भगवान इस तरी को भरमा न दे अंधेरा। तम तम वेदनी किरण का संभाल मांगता हूं। ध्रुव की कठिन घड़ी में पहचान मांगता हूँ, पहचान मांगता हूँ। So Shamila and the poet's words, great poet Shilmangal Suman, to all of you. He was a great poet, one of the greatest Hindi poets ever. जब कहीं कर्म का डंडी पर राही का मन शुरू होगा जब तक सपने मिट जाएंगे सब दिमाग सम्मुख होगा हम अपनी प्रथम विफलता में
Shyam,
भूल
you're,
जाना
I think you're not audible. Voice, voice is getting a little.
Yeah, okay. I guess thank you everyone for.
There is a echo.
Can you hear me?
Now it's crystal clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
anyway, I think it was beautiful, and both the renditions, and I have heard you singing Robindra Shongi at Sudeep's house, so I remember, and I also heard you singing ghazals with him. Both of you had sung together the last time we met about 2 years back. So
yeah,
it's beautiful. I think this is completely on a different this thing, and music is something which is very integral part of you, which is what you have said. So we'll now probably, if you want to talk about music a little more, or we will like to speak about the Swanubhuti Vatika, which you created for Chinmayananda, Tejamayananda under his, guidance. So
my Guruji, yeah, Swami Tejomanand, yeah.
Swami Tejamayananda's guidance, and that is, I mean, this is a completely different zone, because here you are a designer and architect of a Vatika, and in Pune. So you can tell us, and you and Ruma, I think I have seen your pictures on the Facebook
Yeah,
also.
Ruma was
Yeah,
there with me
so
there
you can,
throughout.
if Ruma wants to join us here, she can come here. I mean, I invited her earlier also. So she wants to come in and talk about the Swanubhuti Vatika.
Uh, no, she's okay. Shatrughan doesn't want to join.
Okay.
So, actually, you should. So, Swanubhuti Vatika, it was a dream project of our Guruji, and we had written a play on the life of Swami Chinmayanand. And I'll just, it is very interesting that sometimes we do something which don't take form the way we thought it would. For example, I write a novel and it doesn't get published. Or I wrote a book on Braj, it never got published. It was not destined to, because something else was supposed to come out of it. We wrote a play on the life of Swami Chinmayanand, and a few people were asked to hear it. It was a breezy reading of 2 hours, and it's called Lost, in which in this whole play, Swami Chinmayanand doesn't come for 2 hours, but it's all about him. So Guruji, whom we call him Swami Tejamananda, our Guruji, and a few others heard it, but Guruji heard it in 2011, right? And in 2011, Guruji heard it, and Guruji, after hearing it, he came out of his room from where we were reading it. This was in Pune, a place called Kolwan, where we have Chinmay Vibhuti. It's a 65-acre, huge, lovely place where people go for retreats and actually for pravachans. It's a very simple place to be. Some of my friends from the school have been there. I'm grateful to them for that. They've spent some quality time there. So after hearing that play, he came out and said, "I have a task for you both, and I wanted to make an enlightenment path here, and there is some land lying, and I have decided that you both will do it." So this is the first time someone heard a play and decided to give us a path to design. So we said we have because there are many architects who have done great work for the mission, and here are 2 people who themselves don't know what they are. There are 100 things to do other than everything, other than architecture. At that moment, we realized that why Shyam Banerjee and Ruma had been made to go through by destiny as writers, musicians, music composers, as designers, as even space designers also for exhibitions and things like that, as filmmakers also. Because here was a project which needed everything, and that park was called finally Swanubhuti Vatika. It's a 6.5 acre park, about 25,000 square meters. It got built by on its own actually. We just used to go and sit there and try to understand and dream of this place. And the vision of this park started coming in our dreams. I'm not joking. And even when we are having coffee, so we were just talking about the Vatika and what to do. We were talking about very basic things. How does 15 feet look at a distance of 100 meters? We had no idea. So Manish is an architect. He would know. And the other architects were saying that imagining, so it was jungle. Yeah. Mm. So you come there. Yeah. So Manish has a very important role to play in that. We went to Manish first, and Manish introduced us to a very dear friend of his and ours also, Pankaj Jain, and it was with the help of Pankaj that we could. He held our hands and he laid it out for us, the design. Only he could have tracked it. But then, since we did not know architecture, we dreamt of things which were out of the ordinary, and we pushed architects to make it happen. It led to a lot of conflicts. No offense meant, but there are some professions where you have fixations. So architecture needs that. So when you talk in terms of squares and triangles and blocks, and the first thing that we are taught is to break it, that let it be an empty space. So this was a big clash which we had, and the park has come out beautiful. It has got some fascinating sculptures which are not there anywhere. Its layout is unique.
Yeah, we've seen
Uh,
that.
it's a place where anyone can visit
Yeah,
there.
I think all the pictures you had posted on Facebook, all the pictures that were posted on Facebook, you've gone, I mean, we've seen it. I think most of your Facebook friends have seen it, and it's really beautiful. I mean, it's so nicely done. So, Sham, we
It's
have
on.
taken, we've already we are overshot by, we have
Yeah.
overshot by half an hour. So, before I finally say goodbye and good night and thank you once again and thank everybody. You've been an author and you've written a lot of spiritual poetries. So,
Yeah.
if we can hear a bit about that and one of your poetries, if you can, narrate for everybody, because uh, that's a request. I think we'll all love to hear you.
Okay. There's just one
And
last
before
song.
that, I just want to read a small. Sorry to interrupt. Pilu said something very this thing about, because she's a Tagore lover. She's saying on Prem. She said, which I would like to read out. Pilu said. Pilu, Pilu, Pilu is saying. Just a second. I can't find her this thing.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I am not speaking right now.
Oh,
Uh, Pilu is saying Tagore, the spirit of Prem, um, Bole. And then of course
Moron,
after Maron, Moron बोलता है, Moron
Moron
Bole,
Mala.
हाँ, और and then she was
Moron,
also
Moron, Moron. Last is Moron Bole.
Moron Bole, हाँ,
Moron. Death.
death, na,
And
हाँ. So Moron Bole, and then she of course got very emotional while you sang. So with this, let us hear a poetry, and if you would like to talk about your spiritual poetries.
so I think maybe we can just wrap it up with this poetry. We have, I can't even see the watch here. So my spiritual poetry is something which is closest to my heart, and I have to. The first person I share it with is Ruma here, and the second person, not the second, actually the first person we share it with is our Guruji Swami Tejovanan. He's a great poet himself, and he does make corrections. So actually, this what I was talking to Shubhendu about Shunya and Purna, it actually happened in one of my poems. He corrected it. He said, all your poem is fine except this word. So मुश्किल है. I'm trying this song. It's a poetry. It's a recreation of Rumi. Rumi, Jalaluddin Rumi. It reflects the thought of a little child in one of our Upanishads called the Chandogya Upanishad. If you have heard the story of Satyakam, and the little boy used to wonder on the banks of the river, where have I come from? What am I? I don't know how many. I do think about it. So, Rumi's poem actually. सूरज तले मैं सोचा करूं, सूरज तले मैं सोचा करूं, चंदा से मैं पूछा करूं, आया कहाँ से जाना क्यों नहीं रास्ता जाना, रूह मेरी यहाँ की नहीं जिस देश की मुझे जाना वहीं है मेरा घर, ये आसमां है मेरा घर, ये आसमां पिंजरे में क्यों मैं बैठा यहाँ, ये कौन है जो मेरे ही कानों में बैठा चुपचाप सुन रहा है मेरी हर बात, देखे है कौन मेरी आंखों से, छुए है कौन इन हाथों से, वो मुझ में है या मैं उसमें, मैं उसमें हूँ या वो मुझ में, सूरज तले मैं सोचा करूं, चंदा से मैं पूछा करूं. That's Rumi for you. Hindi, which I wrote.
So beautiful.
Thank you.
So, and I am not going to isolate this from rest of your discussion where of oneness. So it's complete oneness, and you took us through this journey of oneness. You know.
Yeah, it is one.
I mean,
I'm not.
I'm so enriched today with this discussion. I think it was only oneness, and throughout it was oneness.
Yeah.
So Shyam, we are all defined by time. I wish we could speak more, we could learn more, we could hear such beautiful things more. But then, you know, it cannot be because that's how life is all about. for all of us. Thank you so much.
I'm requesting Ruma to
Ruma
actually say bye
finally
when she
here.
comes. Yeah, because it won't take
Ruma,
long to say bye.
finally.
Okay.
Welcome and thank you so much. And
So
it's a
we are like
beautiful work, Swanubhuti Vatika.
Ruma's family and everyone. We are one. We are actually one family here by the grace of God. And I have a son who's sitting inside and maybe watching there. So his name is Vishnu. My life has been great.
Ruma, you want to say something?
রুমা কিছু বলবে তোমার জিজ্ঞেস করতে এখানে
কিছু বলতে চাও?
I'll have to give her the microphone then. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Shyam, thank you once again. Thank you all, everybody who joined us today. And you know, you had
Grateful
such
to
lovely
everyone.
comments.
I'm really grateful to everyone who has been. This has been such a long session. Thank you for joining today. Extremely grateful. Hope you watch Reading Space. At the end of every program, you know, people promote their own pages, no, Sharmila? So,
Sure.
got a very funny question yesterday from our Guruji. After seeing 8 weeks of Reading Space, he put in a line, are you earning anything out of it? So, I'm going to write to him that I didn't earn from Reading Space exactly what you earn from what you do. I mean, but everything. So, there's the way he earns, we are also earning from Reading Space. It would be great if you join in and see Reading Space. We're going to improve in future. Thank you for your comments also about Reading Space, Sharmila.
Yeah, but that is beautiful, except for one or two suggestions which I had, because
Yes.
Going back to are you earning, of course, the abstract earning, if we could, you know, do something more than that, that is the reason I suggested a few things. And
It always comes. It always comes. You should never try for it. You should just
yeah,
work
that's
for
also
it.
true. That's also true. That's
If
very
you just
true.
do your best, it'll come.
I think you are, I mean, I have no words, you know, and I just would like to wish you all the best with a lot of
Thank
blessings
you.
coming your way from
Thank
everyone,
you.
from the universe, and
Thank you.
keep
Thank
enriching
you.
this universe, this social space, people who are unaware and people who you can guide and get some insights, you know. So that's what you're doing. So thanks to both of you, you and Ruma,
Thank
you
you,
for
Ruma.
being
Thank you.
here, Ruma for being supporting this whole episode. Thanks to
Yeah.
everybody else, Shudeep for promoting it, Manish for
Yes.
promoting it, Shuendu, and everyone else. Manju, thank you for your comment. Uh, and Sham, regards to your parents from my side, and uh,
Thank
we
you.
shall meet again. We shall meet again.
Yes, we will definitely. And I
Thank
thank everyone again, and all my thank school, all the teachers who have taught, and the taught little things actually most important. I would like to have those teachers. Thank you to all of them. Thank you, Sharmila.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, IWLF.
Yes, thank you.
That's supposed to be
And
said, right?
I have recorded this.
I get paid for saying that.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
I get paid for saying that and promoting that.
Yeah. No, but I've recorded this and I'm going to edit it and send you a copy of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye. See you.
Bye. Bye. Good night, everyone.
Bye. Good night.